The bloody Yuri love story of I Want to Love You Till Your Dying Day is finally here. Yes, the show that had a pilot film for it made that absolutely floored me and had my expectations for this series extremely high. Well, it was high there also because I've seen a lot of praise around the source material. I'm hoping this series actually does pan out to be something really, really incredible. Now, I will say, after the first episode, it's not really gotten its teeth in me quite yet. I mean, it's beautiful. It's got a great cast so far. It's got a interesting and more intriguing element to the overall story that I'm hoping will kind of deliver, but I won't say that in this first episode I'm like just gripped and like, holy crap, I gotta see the next episode. It almost feels like this first episode assumes that you're already locked in. Like, yeah, you know what you're here for. Let's show you some Yuri scenes. Hopefully it gets you locked in, but yeah, but let me get my thoughts on it. I watched the first episode of it. It opens up with this character named Shina Totsuki, and she's in this academy that all these orphans in the area are taken to. If you're like young and you don't have any parents, you're brought here. You're sort of kind of grouped within sort of an age group and gender, and you're just taught how to use magic. It seems like everybody in this world has the potential to use magic, and they teach them to use magic there for the sake of fighting. Yes, all these children are being trained for the day they'll be sent out to war. And it seems like this is just an everyday thing. They even have, yes, right when it opens up, this girl's roommate is dead. She went on the battlefield and she died. And so the teacher comes to class and says, okay, everybody, one of your classmates died, and let's all honor their death by, focusing on your studies. On with class. It's like this is such a daily thing that nobody's even fazed by it. Somebody died again. Well, try harder, work hard, get really good at your ability to kill other people. It seems like, despite everybody sort of seeing this as a normal thing, this doesn't seem to settle well with Shina. She seems to be sort of the out of the norm person in our story here, that she doesn't like this. She doesn't like feeling that war and death is a normal everyday thing. She doesn't like the idea that she's trained to kill. And it seems like this is also leading to her having a bit of a problem with being good at even using magic to begin with. But yes, after, working to clear out all of her roommate's stuff, she goes to the mess hall to get some food before she's confronted by a girl named Mimi. Now, Mimi is this girl that is just covered with blood, like from head to toe, and Sheena kind of assumes that it might be her blood, that she might be injured. The girl immediately asks her for the food that she has in her hand that she just made, ends up consuming it all, before telling Sheena that she smells good. And then the nurse of the actual school arrives, drags this girl off. Well, we see a brief scene with this nurse and Mimi where she's questioning Mimi, why did you confront Sheena? We told you 200 times never confront the other students. Well, Mimi says, well, she smelled good. She smelled like my mama. We'll cut the next day. Sheena's going to class like usual, and the teacher comes into class and says, we have a new student that's going to be joining this class. And it turns out to be Mimi. Yes, the student that the nurse just said that their faculty apparently doesn't want her, confronting the other students, and wondered why she confronted Sheena. Apparently, they decided to suddenly assign her to being part of a class. Everybody's shocked by this, though. Sheena wasn't really shocked by the name Mimi, but everybody else in the class is shocked when they mention that her name is Mimi. See, Mimi is this, passed down, secret legend, like a myth. That there was this one girl that is called Mimi that is like the secret weapon of the school, and that all the teachers train her in secrecy to be this ultimate weapon. And yeah, so this is one thing that a lot of the students are wanting to confront her on. And eventually, yes, 2 other students of the class does confront Mimi on, are you that legendary soldier that they all talk about? Well, just as they're trying to get this figured out, yes, Mimi gets called out to combat. Over the comms, they call out all the different students by their number, and Mimi is one that's called out, which shocks everybody because of her age. So this is like a confirmation. If she's that young, she's a new student, and she's being sent out to battle, she's got to be the secret Mimi Kagari, the secret ultimate weapon of the school. Which, yes, she goes out to battle. After class, Sheena is confronted by the nurse, who asks her to help her move all of Mimi's stuff to her room because they're going to be roommating. As she's transferring all this stuff, eventually she ends up bumping into 2 girls that are, yes, kissing on the stairwell. And she's a little shocked by this. And Mimi just suddenly randomly shows up and says, oh, hey, they're kissing. And Sheena's like, no, they're not kissing. They're using restoration magic. See, when they kiss and they're of the same wavelength, they heal each other with their kissing. It's actually got lore to why the girls in this story are just Frenching like crazy, okay? It's not just for Yuri baiting. They actually, there's a reason for this. Which after this whole thing, Sheena's like trying to sleep. She can't because she's getting nervous that her roommate's this legendary Mimi, and now suddenly they're going to have a bunch of attention from people, and she doesn't like it. It's making her nervous. Her stomach's hurting. And then Mimi confronts her, says, "What, you can't go to sleep? Is your stomach aching?" And she kisses her. At which point Sheena's like, "Tastes like soap or smell like soap and also blood." Anyways, that's the first episode. That's the first episode of I Want to Love You Till Your Dying Day. I will admit, I almost wanted to wait for 2 episodes on this one, but I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's the first episode impression. You all know that I'm doing an impression of a first episode. And I kind of want to cover this on a weekly basis, so I'm going to assume that things are going to, build up from here. I will admit, despite the fact that the first half is decent, the second half of the episode is kind of shrug. I really did feel like it's just kind of, okay, here's Mimi. Oh, she happens to be joining the class. Everybody's freaking out about this legendary warrior, whatnot, just fighter of the student of the school itself, and yeah, Yuri healing transformation stuff, which, yeah, it's fine. I mean, yay, hot, girls kissing action, yay, great and everything, but it's not really engaging. I almost feel like I said at the very beginning of this video, almost feels like they assume you're already hooked in. And that might be because of the pilot film, because the pilot film, like I said before, is incredible. Like, really hot little scenes there and everything like that. I'm assuming at least the girls' love aspect's going to be pretty spicy. Hopefully they keep it to the TV as well, the TV anime that has a lot of that stuff in as well. But it's a really good visual spectacle. And again, this idea of child soldiers is pretty solid. I just hope that it kind of delivers that. But this first episode did not have that hook. Nothing in it really grabs you. So I'm hoping that at least in the second episode, we'll have that grab point. Because I have seen, again, that the source material is highly rated. So I'm assuming that the story goes somewhere good. Now, the expectations that I have around that is the big question mark there. The overall plot line is intriguing. I, yes, have at some point in the past been pretty tired of child soldier stories. Like, I enjoyed things like, Gunslinger Girl and stuff like that. But at some point, that stuff does sort of get tiresome. I'm looking for another good one. I'm really open to get another good story like that, and I'm hoping this will actually do it. My assumption so far, because they've implied that all children that are orphans will be brought to these facilities and trained for war, my assumption here is going to be that they are being kind of separated by year, but also by gender, because you don't see any males at the facility. So I'm assuming they probably have another school that's for males, where they train the males there to, use their magic. The girls over here, they're being trained to use their magic. And I think what's going to happen is that they go to the battlefield to fight each other. Yes, both sides of the battlefields are going to be the same side of the war. And it's going to be all the idea of creating like ultimate soldiers, or just individuals that are very, very skilled, or potentially unlocking new spells or something. They're trying to push them and pin against each other in order to unlock something. That's why they say the bodies are gone afterwards. What did the bodies do? Did they disintegrate? I mean, Mimi sort of implies the idea that, yes, they have to be gone because otherwise the other side will get that information. I think it's just the idea to take them away. Potentially some of them could end up advancing somewhere else, but I think it's going to be a thing where they come to the battlefield to essentially die or evolve or create new spells. And of course, Mimi is going to be their ultimate weapon. This is something that they're actually trying out right now, this secret weapon that could potentially go further, and there might be some sort of downside to that. But again, there's a lot of my intrigue happening right now. Is going to be a lot to do with what I'm kind of wondering if the direction it'll go. Question is, does it go that direction? I don't know. I might be a little bit disappointed if that is the direction they go, because I think there's going to be some problems with that. But again, so far, Sheena's introduction's okay. I think she does have sort of an interesting conflict with this entire world and how it's built. It is around the idea of her being sort of having misgivings to wanting to be a part of this battle and feeling very outside of the norm. There even seems to be a moment where she's even like, yeah, I know that everybody's has this expectation to do this thing. I don't want to do that thing. I have no interest in fighting. I have no interest in the bloodshed, unlike everybody else. But maybe I should have an interest in it. She's like, yeah, this whole rumor around Mimi, I didn't know about it because I don't think I care about it. Maybe I should care about it. There's an element where almost that she doesn't want to be associated with what they're having to do, but at the same time also acknowledging at some point, maybe I should be. Maybe it'll help me. Because it seems like that's a block in her ability to have any ability. She sucks at magic because she has no interest in it. If it's a tool for war and killing, as she says at the very beginning, why would I want to learn it? She has this hesitation, and it seems like that manifests in the fact that she really sucks at magic, and it seems like that causes her injury too because she's had mishaps because of it. This seems like a girl that's very disconnected from a desire to have anything to do with what they're doing. Which is, I think, the interesting thing for, obviously, why Mimi herself, upon first meet, is so drawn to Shina. Again, she was told, do not associate or interact with any of the students. Any of them. But for some reason, she suddenly goes Shina. Why Shina? She's asked, why Shina? Well, she smelled good. Oh, because she had that food on her? Was it that good? No, it was her specifically. She had a smell on her. She smelled like mama. What's that about? That's a question mark. I mean, that could open the door to the idea of these students being, some sort of harvesting thing, that potentially part of Shina's body is from an actual mother of Mimi. It could just be specifically the smell itself smells innocent. That was what the direction I was going to, because eventually at some point the nurse does smell Shina. And so there's a thought process there that she smelled the fact that she smells Shina and she goes, oh, so that's what she's talking about. There could be an element that she smells Shina and doesn't smell blood. Oh, she smells pure. She doesn't have a smell blood on her. So that's probably why Mimi is drawn to her. Unlike everybody else, which you'd assume there's a lot of students there that haven't gone to war yet. So why wouldn't Mimi have confronted them? I don't know. It could just be an element of innocence. She doesn't have the smell of magic on her or the smell of blood on her because she doesn't want to get involved with it. Who knows? We'll see. Other than all that, I think the episode did a really good job of kind of establishing the world and the setting. I think it's very beautifully portrayed. I think overall the studio's doing an incredible job visually with the entire show. It looks gorgeous. All these different establishment shots, the characters themselves, the way they portray the war itself was pretty solid so far. It's got a decent setup so far. Again, I just think the biggest problem with this first episode is it doesn't do enough to really tell you this is what you're here for. It just says that there's this legendary Mimi girl, and she's bunking with her now, and she kissed her because rejuvenation magic. I'm sorry, I just gotta kick out that. Like my brain immediately goes to things like, obviously, Fate Stay Night and stuff like that, where like mana transfers. It's all about mana transfers. Don't worry. Even though like the cuts on their faces don't go away, it's just like we have to kiss. It's for healing. Sure. I mean, that does open the door to explain why they bunk these girls together and that they have to have some sort of bond with each other. That would explain why they finally bunked Mimi with somebody. They see that she has a connection with the Shina girl, so, hey, bunk her up with that girl. That way they could make a bond. Maybe Mimi, in case she ever gets injured, she can use Shina. Anyhow, we'll see. This is easily one of my most anticipated shows of the season, so I'm going to definitely be locked in, despite the fact that this first episode didn't really get the hooks in me. I'm going to be locked in to see where it goes from here, and hopefully if it has enough to talk about, I'll be here next week to talk about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, hope you found it informative. If you did, hit the like button below. Until next time, y'all take care.